Assembly technician Lisa Streng is suing her former live-in boyfriend, electrical technician Robert Prokop, for the value of a car and a sewing cabinet. Robert is countersuing for unpaid rent and storage fees.
Ms. Streng, according to your complaint, the defendant, who was a former boyfriend of yours, you were together for a long time.
Yes.
And you have a child together.
Yes.
How long were you together?
10 years.
Any reason why marriage wasn't in the picture?
He didn't want to. Said he didn't really love me.
But you stayed with him for 10 years?
You know, he first said that he loved me, and then later on, then it seemed like, well, I didn't really love you towards the end.
How old is your child?
She is 10.
Is she living with you?
She is living with me.
Do you see her?
Yes, I do.
You support her?
I do.
According to your complaint, the defendant sold a car or scrapped it. The title to the car was in your name.
That is correct.
And so you want money for that.
Yes.
Second, you say that he threw out some of your property, the main piece being a sewing cabinet that had sentimental value to you. You want the value of that.
Yes.
The defendant says that he kept your junk for years, a couple of years, that the car was not registered, not in running condition. He had to pay somebody to scrap it, and that you really should be paying him $4,800 for storing all your junk for 2 years, because he's placed a figure on that of $200 a month.
That's right.
Before I go into this case, which seems like a lot of nonsense to me, is there any reason why you're in court today? I mean, this car that you're talking about was a car that clearly wasn't running, is that right?
It just needed a...
It wasn't running?
It was running. It was not running at the time.
And it hadn't been driven in how long?
Just 2 years.
And how old was the car?
It was a 1978 Mercury Cougar.
And what did you do with the car?
I paid a tow service to junk it.
Why?
Because it was in the way. It was on my property and I couldn't get rid of
That's
it.
not true.
How long had it been on your property?
It had been sitting in the driveway at least 2 years abandoned.
Okay. Now let's talk about the sewing cabinet.
Yes.
When did you leave the sewing cabinet at his house?
It was August of 2001.
What's next?
He wanted the car back. He was going to sell the car and get money for it, and he was just mad because the custody case didn't go his way. That's the only reason he destroyed the property and got rid of it. It's the only reason he hung on to the car and left it sit there, because he hates my guts. That's it. The car gets pushed out in the street.
When do you get to see your daughter, sir?
Every other weekend and a couple of weeks during the summer, unless Lisa does something to mess it up.
That's not true.
A couple of times she has messed it up.
Well, let's hope that that doesn't happen again. Ms. Streng, you don't have a case.
I do too.
No, you do not. You do not have a case, because I find that you have abandoned that property. You abandoned it in 2001.
No, I did not.
I'm telling you that you in the law you abandoned the property, so you don't get any money. Now I'm going to also, sir, address myself to your counterclaim.
Yes.
Your counterclaim seeks money from her.
Yes, it does.
For storage of all this junk, including the car and the stuff in the house, for a 2-year period.
Yes.
And what I'm telling you is you, too, had the ability to get rid of that stuff before the 2-year period.
Well, for one thing, I was laying in bed with a broken back for 4 months.
I can't do anything about that, sir. The courts aren't here.
I had to pay somebody to move her stuff.
Courts aren't here to listen to all your problems. That's what you use a psychiatrist for. You have a daughter?
Yes.
She's not going to like you if you make it difficult for her to see her father. I want you to think long term. I want you to think long term. Right now she's 10. If she's 15 and she perceives that there is some animus that you have against her father, and you make it difficult for her to see her father, you'll find yourself, when your daughter is 15, living all by yourself, because she'll go to live with him. And that's what the courts will do. So get the bug out from underneath your bonnet and act like a grown-up and act like a person who has a child. And the most important thing that you have to deal with is the child's well-being, and stop being angry with him. Your case is dismissed. Goodbye, good luck, have a happy life.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next